What's up guys, Woo here, back again with another Division 2 build video guys. Welcome back. Today's build, I'm testing out or utilising an exotic SMG that not many people use. You know what we're talking about, it is the Chatterbox SMG. Why don't people use it? And this weapon used to be super strong as a holstered weapon because of the talent of the extra rate of fire. You get a kill, you get a rate of fire, and in PvP that is key. It's essential to take down your opponents quickly and efficiently. However, now holster talents aren't really a thing. The Chatterbox is just, yeah, it's there. It's there for show. It looks nice, and I like the little green gas that just emanates from the weapon, but still, not many people use it. Why is that? Now, I've decided to put this build together, take it into PvE, heroic content, solo, and in a group, and to see how it will fare. And it fares mighty fine. That's why I'm sharing this today. So if you're looking for a Chatterbox build, check this out. It's a really good fun build to use, and it gives you the best of both worlds. But guys, if you enjoy this video, thumbs doodle, it helps. It really does. It gets the video some traction, gets people watching the content, and hopefully subscribing. And in doing so, guys, drop the woo bomb on the sub button, ding the bell to be notified when I upload my shizzle. Let's woo this. Folks, this is my shield hybrid Chatterbox build for PvE. You can call it whatever you want, but this does offer me so much in PvE content. It's strong, it's really strong. There's so many different ways how you can run this as well. It doesn't have to be an SMG, it could be an AR, it doesn't have to be Firewall, it could be Technician, it could be Demolitionist, wherever floats your boat, whatever suits you and your play style. As I go for the build, I'll explain why I'm using said pieces. I'm using Firewall. I'm using Firewall because I want the Striker ballistic shield, and that gives me a bit of extra damage, and also my teammates a bit of extra damage also, so it's nice to have the extra bonuses. So yes, that's why I've opted for the Firewall. And of course, obviously that really nice, we know what we're talking about, folks, is that nice recovery of armor once you pop your medkit with Firewall is still top tier. Now guys, 3 offensive, 0 defensive, and 3 utility stats. This is a hybrid build. So guys, Firewall spec of choice. Again, I've explained why I'm using that. Now let's go through the gear. Now the mask is Sokolov Concern, and that is 10% SMG damage, 15% critical hit damage. And with this, it's not the perfect piece, but it's a very, very good piece. Nearly 14% weapon damage, 11.5% critical hit damage, max crit chance, and 11.9% critical hit damage. Again, you can use Coach's Mask if you wish, that's fine. I've just decided to go for an all high-end gear build. I'm just thinking, screw it, going to test it and see if it works, and yeah, it puts in a shift. The holster is WOOO Corporation. That's going to give me 10% skill haste and 10% skill damage, and I'm utilising it more so for the 10% skill damage. It's nice to have as one of my skills that will consistently be the nuisance amongst NPCs' asses. That's something to bear in mind with this build, and you'll see why when I go for the chest piece, why I'm utilising some skill damage as opposed to skill repair. With this, it's crit chance and critical hit damage. Knee pads, Wyvern Wear, and that's 10% skill damage, which is max crit damage and max crit chance. And guys, you can see as I'm going for the build, this will garner some really nice crit damage and crit chance. When I go for the stats, you'll see how hard it hits. The gloves, the second piece WOOO, and that's crit damage and critical hit chance. The backpack is Sokolov Concern. It's the second piece of that brand set. That's 12.6% weapon damage, so room for improvement, max critical hit damage, some armor regen, and 11.6% critical hit damage mod. It's all about the talent Vigilance. Increases total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables his buff for 4 seconds. The good thing with Vigilance is as I'm rolling with a shield, yeah guys, but what's good about this is that Vigilance will only be disabled once you are shot, not the shield. So if your shield is taking damage, you will still have that 25% weapon damage. That's cool. That's a really cool additional buff of damage, and that's nice to have. You could go for Companion, you could go for Composure, whatever you feel is necessary on the build. Composure, not so much because you've got to stick your ass in cover. Not really needed on a shield build. Companion's a good option, simply because you can have that skill repair by the fixer drone if you wanted, and that's a consistent 15% weapon damage buff. But on this build, I've opted for vigilance for that 25% weapon damage. Tasty. Now guys, the chest piece is the Door Kicker's Knock, and that is the named chest piece for Grupo Sombra SA. I'm rolling one piece, and that is critical hit damage. 11.7% weapon damage, 8% weapon handling, 12% critical damage, and skill duration. I've opted for skill duration because I want my striker drone to last a little bit longer, hence doing more damage. And, of course, proccing this talent a little bit more. Perfect Spark. Damaging enemies with a skill increases total weapon damage by 15% for 20 seconds. Nice. Nice talent. It's not the best talent on the chest piece to have, but this is a good talent for me and synergizes perfectly with the build because I'm using the striker drone. And with that, again, there's some nice damage output from the striker drone, and also it is also buffing my chest piece, my build, my weapon, the Chatterbox. So that's an extra 15% weapon damage. That's 15 on the chest and 25 on the backpack. So that's an extra 40% total weapon damage. And I'm not using in sync as well. So this is all about using something a little bit different. Now guys, let's go through the weapons. My primary weapon is the Chatterbox, and this is a god roll piece. 15% SMG damage, 21% critical hit chance, 10% critical hit damage. The talent is Incessant Chatter. When you reload, rate of fire is increased by 20% for each enemy within 15 meters for the duration of that magazine, and you'll rinse through it as well, which is pretty cool. The max stack is 5, so that's potentially an extra 100% rate of fire. That's tasty. Once you get it going, guys, it just shreds. Kills refill 50% of your magazine. Again, that's really nice to have on the build. Don't get me wrong, this isn't amazing, but this setup works for me, and it worked for me in so many heroic missions the last couple of days. It's something that I would definitely test out and share. And again, see what you think about this. Is the Chatterbox, is it viable? And I feel it's got a place in the current meta, and this build just highlights that. But of course, you feel free to test this in PvE. Now the mods on this, again, they are fixed mods, so we can't change these. So it's critical hit chance, it is critical hit damage, it is rounds, and of course weapon handling. My secondary, I don't use this, guys, it's just there for show. It's the Velie SA58. Again, I've not touched this whatsoever. So you can see, rifle damage, I've got health damage and damage to armor, and the talent in sync. So sometimes, again, very sometimes, it's very rare, but if I do, I'll switch to this and use in sync for the extra 15% skill damage and weapon damage. And once again, it's all synergized as one, I could get the potential 30% damage to skills and weapons. So that's, well, weapon. So that is something to bear in mind. Now, with mods on this, it is crit chance, rounds, critical hit chance, and of course, critical hit damage. My sidearm, it's there for show. It is there for show. I do not use this one iota. It is the backup boomstick. I love the look of this weapon. It is beautiful. Simple as that. So that's there for show. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't someone say, use something within sync on, please. No, I'm not using it. I'm not using it, so it's there for show. It's simple. Now let's take a look at the skills. Now I've got the striker drone, and that's a 20.8 second cooldown, and that's a 35,500 damage output, and that is not including any bonuses or any benefits from the build as yet. So I can get a little bit more from this depending on how I'm running and how I'm rolling. So that's something, again, to kind of figure out what you would like from your damage output on the striker drone. For me, I like this. It really distracts enemies. You see the chungas, they're turning around trying to locate the striker drone, and then you can just pummel them and go for the weak points, get them down quicker. That's why I like this. I think it's a really good option to have, and it synergizes perfectly with my setup. In terms of mods, duration, damage, and health. My first skill is, of course, the Striker Ballistic Shield, which is the only shield that can be used with, of course, the Firewall specialization. The Striker Shield is a modified version of the Crusader Shield, allowing the K8 Jetstream Flamethrower signature weapon to be used while equipped. In addition, the Striker Shield boosts the damage of the user and all allies behind them based on the number of enemies in front of the shield. So, shield skill tier increases with both armor and utility core attributes. Again, guys, with this, again, there's no armor on this setup. Fair enough. It is what it is. You can add additional armor if you want. Or again, of course, add more core attributes, being that are utility. That's up to you. It's entirely up to you. But I do like the hybrid 3-0-3. I think it works really well with this build. Now, the damage bonus per enemy is 11%. That's cool. The buff angle is 45, and the buff range is 10 meters. The cooldown is 16.7 seconds. The health is 2.76 million. Again, it's not amazing, but again, the more utility or armor attributes you add to this setup, that will only increase the amount of health your shield will have. The active regen is 55k. So, you see, guys, you can see through as I'm tier 3, some of the bonuses I'm getting: the regeneration, shield health, holstered regen, and the buff strength. In terms of mods on this, guys, very simply, shield health, active regeneration, and of course 5% damage bonus per enemy. So that's set up. Let's take a look at the stats, and it's highly important you see these because I'm rolling with max critical hit chance, and it is on the button 60%. You see this, again, I found this fairly simple. So what you could do, again, there's so many tweaks and twists you can put on this build to make it potentially hit a little bit harder or suit your playstyle. You could put Cody's Mask on there if you wish. That's fine to increase the potential critic chance, critic damage, etc. You could roll some armor regen on here, take away some critic chance to give you a little bit more survivability. You have so many options how you want to roll on this, that's for sure. You can go for more skill damage, so your striker drone hits harder, but again, I am at 60% on the button, critic chance. Once I go for the pieces, you add them up at 60%. My critical hit damage is 183.7%, so that's still a real monster critic damage. Could be higher, yes, of course it could. Yes, folks, it could be a little bit higher, but 183% is a good place to be for critic damage on any build. An SMG build is strong. Now, in terms of the damage, let's take a look. So weapon damage 8513, and then we look at the all weapons damage bonus 48.2%. SMG damage bonus is 40%, which is pretty cool. And again, the gear talent bonus is Vigilance and Perfect Spark. Will only elevate the damage output from the Chatterbox. A little bit of armor regen as well, as per the backpack, I believe. Again, if you can grab a little bit more on there, that's great, that's fine. And skill haste is 20%, but that's okay. At the end of the day, so I have a cooldown of 20 seconds on the striker drone. 20 seconds is fine. You can get it down to 18. Again, that's great, but focus more on the damage output from your weapons, in my opinion, to get the most from this build. So, guys, this is the build. It's good. It's really good, and don't look past the Chatterbox. I've discounted it for so long. I've tested this with a couple of different synergies, and one of them being the Striker 4-piece, and it does okay. It does okay at best. So I tested it with this, and a little bit of a tweak, and I've been playing with gear and setups the last few days, and this is what I've settled with, and it works nicely for me. Could be tweaked a little bit more, but again, I don't want to keep at it time and time again. This build works. It works a dream, and it's nice to see your take on this, guys. Just to see, nice to see what you could do with this. But Chatterbox, I'd love your opinions in the comment section. Is it viable? Would you use it? I'm finding it pretty cool at the moment. I think it's pretty swish. Again, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.